If you could sum up 2016 in a word, what would it be? Surprising? Unpredictable? So, okay, 2016 sucked a bit, but it wasn't all bad. There were actually people out there doing awesome things to make this world a better place. That's what the Chivas Venture is all about. Positive change. Since 2014, $1 million has been invested every year in businesses that make a difference. That's over 300,000 lives transformed over the past 2 years. In 2016, the Chivas Venture startups more than doubled their combined net revenue compared to 2015. And they've been making positive waves in over 40 countries across 6 continents. WeFarm is sowing the $200,000 won in last year's final to share vital information with over 100,000 farmers in developing countries, even without access to the internet. Meanwhile, Conceptos Plásticos, who received $300,000 last year, makes dreams come true by making real-life Lego. Yep, by turning waste plastic into brick. The company builds new shelters and homes in poverty-stricken areas, actually changing people's lives. And our founding brothers, James and John Chivas, would be proud because, unlike most bros who'd steal your toys and possibly your girlfriend, these guys believed in doing well by doing good. That was 19th century Scotland, of course, but over 100 years later, their philosophy is still alive and kicking in every person here, using business to do good. This year, the competition reached even more people, with social entrepreneurs from 30 countries putting their good ideas forward. This has all led us here to tonight, to the Final 5. 4 judges, 1 chance to impress. It's like The Apprentice without anyone yelling, "You're fired." Hopefully. Have a great night, guys, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2017 Chivas Venture Final Pitch. And here's your host for the evening, actor, singer, and comedian, Mr. Josh Gad.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. So exciting. I'm so thrilled to be here. Good evening, and welcome to the Chivas Venture Final 2017. My name, as you heard, is Josh Gad, and James Corden was unavailable this evening because he's swimming in a pile of hard cash made of American and British currencies. I'm very excited to be here tonight, not only because this is an incredible event, but because it is my expectation that I will be gifted multiple bottles of Chivas Regal. Congrats to all of you who have been selected for the honors tonight, and remember, if you don't win, it's because someone else had a better idea. So, what is Chivas Venture? Well, it's been said that the meaning of success around the world is changing. No longer is it about personal gain at all costs. Success is about blending profit and purpose, personal gain with the ability to tackle global issues and make a positive impact. The Chivas Venture is a celebration of startups and entrepreneurs that believe in business as a force for good, which we need now more than ever. In October 2014, Chivas Regal launched the Chivas Venture to offer significant resources to help drive and support the social entrepreneurship movement worldwide, including a $1 million fund. Previous Chivas Venture finalists are now improving more than 300,000 lives in over 40 countries. And we are pleased to have some of the previous winners in the room with us tonight. Please give a little wave if you're a previous winner. A little wave. Where are the previous winners? Yes. Excellent. You guys are the previous winners? You guys are great. A wave. Just so you know, this is a wave. That's good. Now you're waving like a real winner. That's great. This year's Global Search has brought us here to Los Angeles with 30 finalists from as many countries selected from over 2,300 applications. Out of the $1 million fund, $250,000 has been allocated by the public through an online vote. And over the past 3 days, our expert judges have selected 5 top finalists to pitch here tonight for a share of the remaining $750,000. The breakdown of how the funding is allocated, it is not predetermined and will be at the judge's discretion. The finalists are being judged on the viability of their business and the potential impact and scalability of their business model. Each finalist has precisely 5 minutes to pitch their startup, followed by 3 minutes of questions from our judges. I feel like Howie Mandel right now, except the stakes are much higher. Now to our judges, 4 individuals with a wealth of experience that spans entrepreneurship, philanthropy, government, finance, and investment, hence me being asked to host and not to judge. First up, founding director of the Beek Center for Social Impact and Innovation, and previous advisor to the artist formerly known as the White House, Sonal Shah. Come on up, Sonal. Hello. So good to see you again. I'm wonderful. Let's mic this. So you have devoted your entire career to supporting and championing social entrepreneurship at the highest levels of government and education. And this is your third year as a judge.
Yes.
That's incredible, for the Chivas Venture Final. What are you looking for from the finalists tonight?
I'm looking for passion, I'm looking for a great idea, and a willingness to scale it. If they know how to scale their idea and they're passionate about it, that's what we're looking for.
That's great. Hey, guys back there, those are the 3 things she's looking for. Make sure you write that down. Okay, thank you so much, Sonal. We can't wait to have you back here. All right, next up, founder of Mission U and Pencils of Promise, and best-selling author, Adam Braun. Come on up, Adam. Good to see you.
You too.
Is this your first time at the rodeo?
This is my first time at Chivas Venture, yes.
Okay, but you've been on the other side of this.
I have.
Okay, so as a social entrepreneur yourself, what would be the best piece of advice to the finalists tonight? What are you going to be looking out for in the pitch?
The thing that I think always resonates most is the personal conviction behind the idea, as well as an actual business model that can scale and have global reach.
Right. Okay, excellent. All right, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Josh.
Third, we have Chairman and Chief Executive of Pernod Ricard. I think I said that right. The world's leader in premium spirits, including Chivas Regal, Alexandre Ricard. How are you tonight?
Very good.
Do you mind if I call you Alex?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because
Please
I
do,
cannot
please
do the Alexandre thing all night. All right, so do you think that social entrepreneurship can change our world? How can we help make this happen?
Yeah, I don't think, I absolutely am convinced that we can, and the numbers are here to prove it. I mean, more than 300,000 lives impacted throughout more than 40 countries. And that's by doing what we're doing now. Committed people, passionate people that want to make the world a better place for all.
Incredible. Now more than ever, that's exactly what we need. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you.
And finally, without further ado, Oscar award-winning actress and entrepreneur, I believe I'm pronouncing her name right, Halle Berry. Hello. Do you mind if I also call you Alex? What excites you about social entrepreneurship?
I think it's a great opportunity for people of all walks of life to come together, for a wonderful cause, and to really wake up, log on, look around their communities, and actually realize that they have the power, no matter what income bracket they live in, what language they speak. They can come together and we can actually make change and do something about it.
And that is an unbelievably well-spoken answer by an incredible judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to have fun.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. All right. Now to the moment of truth. We have our incredible finalist pitches. First up, James from South Africa with the I Drop Water.
So I'd like to start us off this evening by just asking our judges to take a sip of water, please. Okay, now, if the 4 of them represented everyone in the world, one of them just drank something that could kill them. Because right now, 1.8 billion people still drink unsafe water. And as a result, somewhere, someone dies every single minute. Now, I'm not here tonight to pitch you an amazing new product or an incredible new app. I'm here to show you how my company, iDropWater, is founding a new drinking water industry could bring safe water to every person on Earth within 20 years. I come from a long background in drinking water purification technology in Africa, and one of my greatest frustrations has always been that the technology already exists to efficiently and effectively purify water for drinking. And yet, wherever I've traveled, I've been met with this all too familiar sight. People buying huge amounts of expensive bottled water to meet their basic drinking needs. But in almost every single one of these grocery stores, large or small, there's a water source. It's just that in many parts of the world, that water is not safe to drink. I took this photograph at a grocery store in Zimbabwe, and it's where the idea for iDropWater came from. So what you see here is an iDropWater purification and dispensing machine. We design, build, and install these machines in grocery stores at no cost to the shop owner. The shop owner provides us with a water source. Our machine purifies that water, and shoppers buy safe drinking water by refilling their own multi-use water containers. At the end of the month, iDrop shares revenue from those sales with the shop owner 50-50. iDropWater sells for 80 to 90% less than bottled water and produces virtually no waste. And it's the power of this shared revenue business idea that prompted my wife Kate and I to leave our jobs, invest our life savings, and go all in to found iDrop. One of our key innovations is that inside each iDrop machine is a SIM card, like you'll have in your phone, that connects it to our online control platform seen there. So we know where each one of our machines is on the map. We know in green how much water is being sold through it in real time. And if at the end of a month, a shop owner doesn't pay us our share of the revenue, we can remotely deactivate that machine from anywhere in the world. This innovation has helped us to grow into over 80 grocery stores in 4 countries. We now sell water to somebody, somewhere, every 90 seconds. To understand the impact of this business, I need you to imagine for a few minutes that you live here, in Soweto, in South Africa, and that you run a small grocery store, but you don't sell bottled water to your shoppers because they can't afford it. So you reach out to iDrop, and 48 hours later, you have a brand new iDropWater machine in your store, and you're now selling water because everybody can afford it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Mandla. This is him in his shop in Soweto. This is one of his shoppers, and this is how iDropWater is impacting thousands of lives across Africa every single day. We measure this impact on 5 key environmental and economic metrics, but I'd like to just highlight the 2 on the left for now. To date, we've sold over 500,000 liters of safe drinking water and generated tens of thousands of dollars of local economic activity for entrepreneurs like Mandla. In parallel, through our schools project, we now provide safe, free drinking water to over 3,500 school children in low-income schools around South Africa. But with all of this, we are only just scratching the surface. And that's why tonight, I'm asking you for an investment of $250,000 in iDrop that will enable us to more than double our current capacity to over 200 iDrop machines by the end of this year. By 2020, we want to have installed thousands of machines, impacting millions of people. These numbers are real, and they're achievable. But our ultimate objective as a business goes even further than that. Because since I started talking to you, another 4 people have died from drinking unsafe water. And I said to you that we could tackle this global challenge within our lifetimes. So let me end with the following. The bottled water industry generates about $200 billion in annual revenues. If a new drinking water industry based on iDrop could generate the same annual revenues, we'd be selling safe, affordable drinking water to every single person on Earth. This new industry is not a dream, it's not an idea. It's happening right now in Africa because we founded it. And if you back us here tonight, you could look back in 20 years knowing that you helped us share it with the whole world. Thank you so much.
Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Terrific. That was quite ballsy to come out and be like, drink some water. You guys have just been poisoned, by the way. I'm never going to drink tap water after that presentation. I think the judges have some questions for James. Who wants to start?
I'm happy to start. So, one thing that I've certainly seen is the journey to build a social venture is not just about the individual, it's about the team. And so I'd love to hear, if you were to receive that capital investment, where you would look to invest in the team specifically.
There are two areas we need to strengthen out. Our core management team involves my wife, Kate, and I. I like to describe that as, without her, this is a really good idea. With her, this is a really great business. She's a Wharton undergrad, MBA from Oxford, a powerhouse in business. I'm the sort of water nerd and creative destruction in the business. But we need more people who can help us grow out our sales presence in various markets. We can't just focus on key accounts. That's my job. But we need people to go and work in the community. So we're recruiting from communities to do sales and promotion. We also need to strengthen our technical capabilities. And so we work, our maintenance is very efficient and low cost, because we can tell through the data we get from the machines, we can diagnose everything remotely. So the technical support is very limited and very efficient. So we can train local technicians to do very basic replacement tasks. But those are the two real areas we need to strengthen to scale this up.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any questions? Al.
I have a very business-specific question.
Yeah.
You mentioned, you wanted thousands of machines. So how much does a machine cost, and what type of return on investment would you have? And the ultimate vision is to be present across how many countries or how many continents?
So the cost per unit is one of our closely held trade secrets, but I can say that we aim for a capital return of about a year at most, with a life of the unit lasting 5 and beyond. The entire unit's designed to be modular, so as parts fail or get old, we can easily replace those to prolong the life of the machine. So we get a really good use of that capital. In terms of how we grow it out into thousands, I think maybe a way to explain this is to imagine how different the world would look and be if in every grocery store, from ourselves or other companies that will join this space as we can prove that it's viable and profitable, but in every grocery store, every school, there is a machine that purifies water there and dispenses it, either for sale or for free. Think about what that does to the world. Think about what it does to plastic waste reduction. Think what it does to water access, the price of water. You move the filtration from centralized bottling or municipal treatment to the point where it is either sold or consumed, and the cost disappears. So that's our ultimate goal. And I think we haven't figured everything out yet. We're a new business, but what we're trying to do is show that it's possible and bring new companies in to compete with us, to found this new industry. But that's how we like to imagine it, imagine that world.
Any other questions?
I do.
Yes.
Have you spent any time thinking about what kind of advisory board you would put together as you go forward? Like, who would that be comprised of in a perfect world?
In a perfect world. I think I'm looking at them, but the
Congratulations,
second, Thank you. Second best, we'd need people with experience in scaling internationally. We'd need some seasoned professionals to join our board. We are both still fairly young, Kate and myself. But I think on the technical side, we're really well covered. We contract in a lot of very specific and highly qualified people to help with the business. It's not just a small team. But we need some wisdom, and we understand that. We're working with various partners already to try and access those partnerships that will be able to help us to grow into these sort of unknown markets. Importantly, though, one of the reasons we've already piloted and are growing into 4 different countries is that there's no point designing a system and a platform that falls apart when you try and take it into new territories. So we've gone and tested in different places as early as possible and modified what we have so that we're ready to scale. As I said, there's no point growing out in one country. It's time to grow, and everything falls apart. So we've spent a lot of time and a lot of sweat testing this in various places.
Can I ask one final question?
Yeah.
James, what happens when a part breaks? Like, there's only 2 of you right now, and you have these dispensed all over the country in different places. Mm-hmm. How do you know if something's not working?
The platform tells us. We have alerts that are built in. So we can tell all sorts of diagnostics about the machine. The one thing that is a fail-safe is that the only system that cannot break down is the water supply, is the water filtration quality, I beg your pardon. So if the water is flowing through our filters, it is safe to drink. That is the only absolute sort of hardwired feature of the so at no point are we selling unsafe water, and that's a critical design feature. Smaller component failures, very rare, but our system has picked up some extraordinary reporting data points, such as in Johannesburg, we have a high incidence of lightning strikes. We now know when the electronics have been taken out by a lightning strike. So in that instance, we're able to, everything inside is modular, uninstall that, send a new one that can be easily reinstalled, and the machine will keep going. But the sub-assembly nature of what we have in the machine is critical, because we can't replace a huge machine if something breaks. And again, training local technicians to do that kind of assembly work or fix is very straightforward, and we can really grow that capability in the communities.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Amazing. It's really, hearing something like that makes me feel like I'm worthless. The only thing I've ever invented is the voice of a snowman. I have to figure out my life. Next up is Chioma from Nigeria with her business proposal, Recycle Points.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chioma, and I'm happy to be here. Can we please take a minute to imagine that we are allowed to dispose our waste just once every year? Just once. I bet we'll all have a rethink on what we call waste. I bet we'll all have a rethink on our production and consumption pattern. Nigeria, my country, is a consumer-oriented nation. It is said that an average Nigeria generates at least 0.5 kg of waste. And going by the country's population of 170 million, we generate 80,000 tons of waste daily, and we need 2,125 compactor trucks to clear that same waste. The poor and inefficient waste collection system on ground has itself created an urban waste management crisis. So it's common sight to see our streets littered with waste, giving rise to breeding ground for diseases like malaria, typhoid, and cholera. It is common sight to see our dump sites overflowing with waste, which get burnt, and greenhouse emission occurs, giving rise to climate change. It is common sight to see our drainages blocked, giving rise to flood. This is where Recycle Point comes in. Recycle Point is Nigeria's foremost waste recycling and social benefit venture that enables post-consumer create value from their everyday waste, with special interest to low-income households because they are the most vulnerable to the effect of poor waste management. We developed a point-based incentive scheme with which we collect the likes of PET bottles, aluminum, can, glass bottles, old newspapers, nylon, and in turn reward registered post-consumers with points, which when accrued can be used to redeem household items as small as diapers, tissue paper, to as big as flat screen television, laptop, washing machine. We run a door-to-door waste collection model with the first electric cargo tricycle in Nigeria called the Green Trikes. Why did we bring this in? To cut down on our carbon footprint and to reach the slum neighborhood that other vehicles can't get to, and ultimately create more jobs. The collected waste come to our community-based collection and sorting hub, which we call COSUB, where women at the bottom of the pyramid within the community, unemployed, come in daily and sort this waste and get paid according to the volume of waste they've sorted. The waste is then baled, shredded, or crushed and sold to recycling plants that use them as raw material for the production of new items. Our value proposition to these recycling companies include timeliness, consistency. We generate every month 75 tons of waste to the recycling companies. Our products are very clean because we harvest directly from post-consumers. The waste is not commingled. And then our prices are very competitive. We request funding for $300,000 today to enable us to scale our activity to 2 major regions in Nigeria, create 2 collection and sorting hubs, create 4 new iRecycle kiosks, and then create 108 jobs while we collect almost 7,000 more tons of waste before the middle of next year. While in our process of running our activity, we figured out that people would like to recycle, but it's not made available to them. So we came up with the iRecycle kiosk, which is a refurbished shipping container, which we're going to drop in different communities and make recycling accessible to them. This is also going to serve as a merchant retailer platform where the people within the community can come, recharge their cards, open very low KYC accounts, thereby addressing financial inclusion. Our impact includes creation of new jobs, mitigation of climate change, reduction of diseases, outbreaks, and community engagement. Our team has about 36 years experience between us on environmental management, customer relationship management, and material management. We hope with our activities to get our streets to look more like this from the previous one we saw, while sustaining our brand as the currency that converts waste to wealth for our generation and for the future generation. Thank you.
Lovely job, Chairman. Thank you so much. Thank you. Excellent. So, do we have any questions?
I'm happy to start. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can you tell us, for the next facilities that you create, how much more waste? You collect 75 tons in your current facility. Mm-hmm. How much more waste will you be collecting? And when do you break even?
We'll be collecting 648,000 tons, and we'll by mid of 2018. Of 2018, we'll find that.
Yes, Adam.
So when you think about growing this venture from where it's at today to, let's say, where you want it to be 3 to 5 years from now, what are the biggest hurdles that you feel like you need to overcome, especially when it comes to expansion regionally or geographically?
Okay, one of our major problems we have is power. We have power issue, and so that because we run with the machines with that, so we have power issue and then logistic issues. And how we've thought about that, we've brought in the tricycles to cut down on the expenses we pay on diesel, transportation, and all. And then with the recycling kiosk being in different locations, we'll cut down on costs. Going from door to door, rather the people will now drop off at the recycling kiosk and we'll just make one-way trip off from the kiosk to the hub.
Yeah, thank you.
Say, just for a minute that you had infinite amount of funds and resources. Just imagine that. How would you see yourself running your business differently than you are right today?
That means we'll scale faster, be able to generate capacity, to scale faster, employ more people, and then, of course, come up with a technology app which can help us, collect data faster, easy, and work remotely. So that I hope that in the future I'll be able to enable recyclers check by themselves what their recycling points are just by on their mobile phone. So they don't need to call us because they have a sign-on ID they can on the app, and they can check, oh, I gave these guys waste 2 days ago or today. With my phone, I can see it real time that my point has grown from this to this. That is technology. So the fund will enable us to get better technology and scale faster. Thank you.
Would it be possible to imagine Lagos being a 100% clean city?
Oh, we need to invent a new mic for you, don't we? Come here. I'm talking to the mic.
No,
I'll tell her what you want to say.
What would it take in terms of resources, just to focus on Lego, and why expand?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I didn't get.
Sorry, I was thinking, is it possible to imagine Legos 100% clean? And
is
what?
It possible? I'll translate. Go ask your first question. Is it possible to
imagine Legos being
being 100%? This is a fun game, by the way.
100% clean city, and if so, what resources would it require, and why expand before getting there?
Okay, of course it is. With better education, orientation, because waste recycling is super new to people on my own side of the globe. So 60% of my work is on reorientation, advocacy, and re-education. So I believe if my people are well trained and informed about the vices or the effects of poor waste management or the advantages or benefits of waste recycling, we'll do better. We are fast learners. There we are.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Excellent job. I love the one guy over there who just keeps getting up and giving high fives to everybody. He's like, yeah, I like you as much as the other one. Yeah. Alex, that was a great game of lip sync battle. Let's do it again. All right. Next up, we have Alvaro from Colombia, whose business model is called BioEstivas.
You are looking at the biggest construction project in Colombia. For over 5 years, this hydroelectric dam was my life. People say, Alvaro, you will never do it. It's impossible, but I knew it was possible. So I built a team. We funded the 5.5 billions, and we made it happen. The idea is this. Everything I start, I finish it. Environment matters to me. And this project gave me first-hand experience about the huge cost for transporting goods, for transporting materials. In this moment, all over the world, millions of tons are on the move with pallets wood like this one. The world is consuming 2.3 billion pallets per year. That's, believe it or not, 40% of the world wood. 40% of the wood of the world. That's a huge environmental problem. Indiscriminate forest logging is the silent killer of the world's forests. At the same time, in Colombia, we are the second biggest exporters in flowers in the world. In my home city, Medellin, the flowers production is a very important part of our local economy. We have over 1,000 growers, and 114 of them are families where the head of the household is the mother. But this industry generates enormous waste. More than 9,600 tons every month. How do you dispose of that waste? you burn it. The contamination is terrible, affecting more than 600,000 Colombians in 9 small cities around the flowers growers. At Biostivas, we have a solution for both these both problems at the same time. The wooden pallet hasn't changed in the last 60 years. What we do is to take the biostay from the flowers producer, to separate the fibers, to dry them, and to compress that fibers to produce a new disruptive and ecological pallet. Is it as good as the wooden pallet? Is better for 16 reasons. Just to name a few. Unlike the old wooden pallet, our pallets are resistant to moisture, resistant to pellet, resistant to fire, 30% lighter, made use in agricultural waste, comply with all international standards, more than twice as strong, stackable, reusable, biodegradable, recyclable, and cheaper. That's our secret sauce. Today, we serve more than 117 customers across 11 countries. That's 20 workers making 3,000 pallets a month. We focus on receiving the biomass just from mothers that double their income because now they don't have to pay for disposal of the waste. We receive it. But the problem is that we are taking less than 1% on all the available stands that we have in Medellin alone. So, our potential is the potential to scale. Our business is huge. But for that, we need investment. And that's what we need from you. Next year, from January next year, with your support, we'll be able to increase our production capacity to 33,000 pallets from the 3,000 pallets that we are making right now. We already have the customers. The thing is, we are planning to buy a complete automatic production line at a cost of $536,000 for increasing our social and environmental impact more than tenfold. For the first year, we forecast an additional $3.5 million sales, and looking ahead, we see a big opportunity, a huge opportunity to expand into particle boards and doors. Again, using the biomass and our existing process expertise. Our pallet, our sustainable product, we sell it at $0.5 per kilo. But when we are talking about kitchen boards or board, the price is $9 per kilo. We have a team with a big expertise in marketing, in chemical science, in sales and engineering and production, and in commercial law. The only downside with our commercial or in-house commercial lawyer is that she's my wife. But in Biostivas, we are very serious about manufacturing revolutionary products to prevent the filling of the forest, the indiscriminate filling of forests, to use the waste from the forest to defeat contamination, to empower women. And when you think at me and think, shouldn't you be retired? I believe there is no age limit for embarking on a new business venture. There is no age limit for innovation. There is no age limit for making a difference in our society. That's what Biostivas is all about, to live a better life for my 5 children, my 4 grandchildren, and for the world. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Amazing. ¿Tú hablas español?
Muy bien.
That's all,
Desde
I can,
chiquito,
that's
desde
all I
chiquito.
can say.
No.
I've seen Narcos. That's the
No,
extent of it.
I see your accent. You play local.
Mucho gusto.
Wow.
Excelente. All right, so we have some questions from the judges, I presume. Who would like to start us off? Alex, they're all pointing at you. They want to see if your mic works this time.
So, by the way, I like trying to address two issues with one specific concept. I think that in this room, and I'm looking at him, you have the CEO of Shiv's Brothers that uses a lot of pallets. What will you say in 20 seconds to convince him to switch from traditional pallets to your pallets?
When you invited us in March for the week in Oxford, I didn't have lunch the last day. I was trying to talk with him, and I did. And I knew that you are using 45,000 pallets a year. So now I have the contact with the person in charge of the logistics, but the problem is that the pallet that you need, it has to be resistant to 10.5 tons. And so far, we are making pallets to 7 tons resistant. So when we are ready, we send it to you.
Excellent. Anyone else?
So in general, this must be a really competitive industry, right? And so I'm curious, what are the other innovations that you're seeing happening within pallets, if at all? And how do you feel like you're...
A lot.
Yeah.
Because right now, for example, after we went to Oxford, we went to Cambridge, and there we found a company producing a special glue. We had been working almost 2 years using urea formaldehyde. And you know the problem with emission. Now, IKEA and Walmart, they don't want any product with that kind of emission. And we found this factory producing a glue 100% natural. We already taken the product, and to the juries this week, I had the opportunity to show the sample that we already had with that product. That's the first one. But with the second one, we are very small, but we think a lot in investigation. So we already have 4 different contracts with 4 different universities in Colombia, the main university. And Universidad de los Andes, the main university in Bogotá, they have developed a very special pallet. Instead of using resin, they are using the PET from the bottle. They say they sell a product in Colombia that is a brown bottle, so they don't recycle. I don't know if Ikioma could do it, but the thing is, they transfer the polymer from the PET into the resin to make a pallet, with the waste like the flower stems, and with the waste like the bottles. So we will be 100% recycled.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Adam, put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, do we have a final question?
Alvaro, so right now you have how many customers? And if you expand, where are your customers coming from?
We have 117 customers, as I said.
In Colombia?
No, in different countries, because we sell some companies that they send the pallets away. For example, Argos is the biggest cement company in Colombia. We have already an order, 50, you know very well Argos, right? They buy 15,000 pallets per month, but we don't have the capacity to do it. So the thing is, we already had the customer. And the price is very good because we are cheaper than them. But we have 16 advantages in front of the traditional pallet. But the main is we don't have to cut, we don't have to log the trees. So we are saving trees. But on the other hand, we are taking the waste from the flowers, and now they don't burn it. They use it as a raw material. But the customers that we are having today are from 100 to 400 pallets because we can't anymore. But the biggest drink that you know in the world called me 2 weeks ago, the buyer, and told me, this company is very hard to buy because we have big risk reputations. but we want your pallets with us. We are going to take you with the hand, and we are going to take you to the order, and we are going to work together.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you
sir.
very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Let's hear it again for Alvaro. There we go. Oh, the poor guy got stiffed. Oh, Alvaro was like, I've seen where that hand's been. I'm done with you. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea what the hell a pallet is, even after all of that. Next up, we have Son from Israel with his company called Intendu. Oh, Son. Her.
Good evening, everyone. Several years ago, while I was doing my PhD in neuroscience, researching brain plasticity, an accident changed my life forever. My dad, a carpenter, was hit in his head by a metal pole that broke his skull and caused massive brain injury. I knew that such injury usually causes severe cognitive impairment that limit the ability for normal and independent life. Even simple things like driving or preparing a meal are often impossible for people with this kind of injury. During the many hours in the hospital, I calmed myself down. Research shows that with the right treatment over enough time, people can recover. My dad would be fine. To my big surprise, I discovered during his rehabilitation that although therapists know that additional treatment can help their clients to recover, they are forced by the healthcare system to release these people home after only a few months. This leads these people to be sent at home without any treatment and to become shadows of themselves, unable to live a respectable life. I thought it doesn't make any sense that today, with all the amazing technologies, someone's rehabilitation depends on one-on-one therapy that is very costly and requires travel. I started to look for technological solutions for this problem, but I found that available cognitive training software is not suitable and not effective for people with brain impairment. One day, my father's rehabilitation team sat us down and told us that they have to end his treatment. They're releasing him home. Looking at my dad, who was very far from full recovery, they told me, "You should accept the situation as it is." That moment, I decided to make a change. I devoted the last 3 years of my life to create a solution that will allow the people who suffer from brain dysfunction to receive the rehabilitation they deserve for as long as they need it. Together with an amazing team of professionals, we created Intendu, a digital brain therapy solution that improves in-clinic treatment and extends cognitive rehabilitation to the home. Intendu enables patients to practice challenging cognitive tasks by playing biofeedback video games that simulate real-life scenarios, including movement in space and interaction using natural body gestures. Combining physical activity in the training enhances brain plasticity. Using realistic experiences enhances and maximizes rehabilitation and real-life benefits. A smart AI engine automatically adjusts the games in real time to users' personal needs, enabling independent usage and optimal brain stimulation. Intendu is the first of its kind holistic brain training platform that combines mind and body to provide an effective and affordable solution for people with brain dysfunction to continue their therapy at home. Our solution is already used by dozens of institutions around the world, including top 10 US rehabilitation hospitals. And I'm happy to tell you that last month we launched our home product, and the feedback from patients has been outstanding. Our solution is applicable not only for people with brain injuries, but also for the hundreds of millions of people around the world that are suffering from cognitive impairments as a result of stroke, aging, neurological disease, and mental illness. We're part of a market that is spending hundreds of billions of dollars each year on care and treatment of brain disorders. And we're part of the digital healthcare market that is expected to reach $6 billion by 2018. Our business model is very simple. We're offering our solution to rehabilitation institutions to increase treatment effectiveness, and we're leveraging these relationships to reach the homes of people with brain impairments, providing them the solution on a monthly subscription basis. Our opportunity is huge, and we have an outstanding team that includes all the domains required to make Nintendo a success: neuroscience, rehabilitation, computer science, gaming, and healthcare entrepreneurship. We're asking for $600,000 to expand our solution to support additional medical conditions and additional communities. Millions of people are suffering from brain impairment and are left out of our society due to that. They often cannot express their needs or ask for help. Help us provide them the most effective rehabilitation possible that is affordable for everyone and accessible everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Excellent job. Son, do we have any questions?
First of all, I think what you're doing is admirable. I think so often people who suffer with mental issues are often forgotten, and so I applaud you for making this so personal. My question is, for people at home, what would it cost for a family to have it in their home, and is this something that you envision insurance covering as a way to supplement
It's
families?
a great question. So, of course, we envision insurance covering for that. There is no reason why people should cover for that. Today, it costs $50 per month, and of course, we have an annual plan and 6-month plan. But exactly this is our goal, to reach a situation where insurance companies already will cover that. So we have these few years where people will still need to pay for that, and this is part of the help we need, is in these next years to get support. To play the games, you need to have hardware, a console that provides you the biofeedback. And today we provide this because many of these people don't have a lot of money that they can spend on the software and hardware. So we provide it either on discount and many times for free. And this is something that a startup company like us, it's very difficult for us to do. So it's definitely that. And we already see insurance companies, for example, in Israel, we are now having a pilot with a big HMO. It's an insurance end provider that wants to use our product for telerehabilitation. We have discussions with a big network in the US, but it takes them like between one time we talk to them to another, takes them like 6 months or a year. So, it will take time to get to that.
Anyone else?
So one of the biggest differentiators from what I've seen in ventures that make it and those that don't is the relentless focus. The focus that needs to be demonstrated and not getting distracted to be all things to all people. And you have an enterprise solution and you have a consumer solution. And so I'm curious, when you think about scaling the business, where do you see the driving of revenues coming from? And then separate from that, what is the area that you personally want to be working on as the entrepreneur behind the business?
So it's a great question. Indeed, first, we're very focused on the acquired brain injury market today, and our next market is aging. So in terms of the medical condition, we're focused. In terms of the home versus institution, we started by going towards the biggest and the most appealing institutions for several reasons. One, to get their inputs and to work together with them. For example, Shepherd Center, which is one of the top 10 in the US, we collaborated very closely with them to develop the product. We also want them as the recommenders, and they are already. They're recommending their patients when they leave the rehabilitation hospital to use our software. So in this field, it sort of has to be, it doesn't have to, you also can develop only for the home, but if you want to be practical, people turn to their therapist to get a recommendation. So, and we're lucky that therapists really understand our value proposition. So we're going, it's a bit hard. I totally understand what you were saying, but our focus is totally the home. The institutions are the vehicle. So like we always, if I have two features, the home is the first. And the home is in my heart. And by the way, also in the business model, this is the scalable business model.
Yeah, that's the sense I had.
Yeah, so we're aligned on the social and the commercial here.
Yeah, Adam, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Just for Adam. Anyone else with questions?
I would just like to piggyback on that question. Doesn't this treatment need to be tailor-made per person depending on the level of the brain damage and so on? And what kind of support can you bring, and how scalable is this?
What kind of support?
Support do you bring, if that person needs help and advice?
Yeah.
Cannot go all the way to an institution, a hospital.
So just before I answer the question, I must remind that the problem that we're trying to address, the main problem, is really helping people that don't have therapists, don't have the rehabilitation hospital, and there are tons of them, as you mentioned, and like many of us know. This is the reason why we developed this software that is adaptable. We have very complex algorithms. You saw Dr. Valeria Blumenfeld, which is part of our algorithms team, that basically personalize the software in real time to the performance of the person, both in terms of physical ability and cognitive ability. So if you're managing to succeed in the task we give you, we advance it more. If you don't manage, we reduce it by various parameters. And this is the key, one of the key advantages to our software, and that allows it to also be used to various levels of abilities. We start by, like, the patients we started with are severe TBI. We gradually went up to moderate, like to develop all the algorithms for that, and gradually went up more. It doesn't fit healthy people today, although in the vision, all of us will be going not only to the gym, but using the Nintendo training at home. But we sort of first care about the people who really need it the most, and later we care about us, which we can manage without it. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you so much, son.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I'm bringing you with me everywhere. I love you. And I apologize to son. Nobody told me you were a daughter before you came out, and I called you a he, and I apologize. Next up is Neil from Thailand with Siam Organic.
Sawadee krap. My name is Neil, and I'm from Thailand. Just 5 years ago, I was an MBA student, and I had this great idea that I would create a company that would change the world. In another word, I was just a kid with a big dream. I'm honored to be here today to share my life over the past 5 years with you, and I hope you enjoy it. Thailand is the world's #1 rice exporter, but what many of you don't know is our farmers are among the poorest in the world, earning just 40 cents per day, 6 times below the poverty line. And despite our government spending over $60 billion to try to solve this problem, the farmers' debt has tripled over the past decade. It is impacting 17 million people in Thailand. Putting that into perspective, that is 1 in 4 Thai person that needs our help. And that's really why I'm here today. So let us take a look at the root cause of this problem. Typically, the farmers would grow the rice, sell to the middleman, who then sells to the rice mill, who then sells to the market. There are 3 key components to the farmer's income: price, yield, and cost. Thai farmers have the lowest yield in Southeast Asia, 3 times lower than Vietnam and even lower than Burma. We also have the highest production cost. But instead of the government solving the problem at the root cause, they intervene by offering to purchase the rice at a higher than market price, effectively shutting down the market. But instead of the farmers getting this money, the money goes to the rice mill and the middleman. So what we do as Siam Organic is we transform the entire value chain by creating 2 key cooperatives to solve this problem in a sustainable and scalable manner. The first cooperative is called the Organics Grower Cooperative, which focuses on growing the rice as efficiently as possible. The second cooperative is the Production Cooperative, which does the rice milling and packing, and currently employ over 50 female farmers. They're then supported by marketing, distribution, and product development. Under this newly developed model, we've been able to increase the farmers' yield by 60% year on year, reduce their cost by 24%, and also importantly, we've been able to offer to purchase the rice at up to 200% higher than the market. Now, how is this possible in a commodity market? The answer is innovation. Jaspberry rice is a new variety of rice with 3 times higher antioxidant than blueberry. It is non-GMO and certified organic. We affectionately call it the world's healthiest rice. If you compare Jaspberry rice to the other superfood in the market, for every $1 that you spend, you're going to get the most amount of antioxidant. We have launched Jaspberry rice in arguably the world's most competitive rice market in the world, which is Thailand. And basically everyone said we were going to fail, and they had a very good point. Now we're in over 200 channels nationwide, achieving a revenue of over $500,000 within 2 years. Recently, we have partnered with a company in New York called Try the World, which distributes Jaspberry rice to over 62,000 households in the United States, reaching 240,000 people. The feedback has been nothing short of incredible, with consumers sharing their love for Jaspberry rice and our farmers' story on their social media, and over 40% rating it as incredible. We're at a phase now where we're scaling up to 5 international territories this year. What that really means is it's going to help us achieve our goal of impacting 20,000 farmers' family, transforming 100,000 lives within the next 3 years. We've acquired certain partnerships to help us get there. One of these key partnerships is with Kiva, who help microfinance organic input for these farmers. And we piloted a project with Kiva last year and raised $24,000 for 33 families within about 8 hours. Our social impact assessment, and this is a very important part of our business, has been verified by a third party in a program sponsored by Oxfam. And they've determined that our social return on investment is 4.3 times. And what that means is for every $1 you invest into Siam Organic, it's generating $4.3 return for these farmers. So I mentioned to you at the beginning of this presentation that these farmers are earning just 40 cents per day. So what has happened is they are now earning close to $6 per day, an increase of 14 times. But when we talk about social impact, and many of us in this room are social entrepreneurs, social impact is not a number. I want to introduce you to my favorite farmer. Her name is Memma. 3 years ago, she does chemical farming with $10,000 of debt and 6 acres of land. Just 3 years later, she has paid off all her debt, more than double her land holding, and her land is now certified organic. More importantly, thank you. More importantly, her 3 children who were working in a factory in Bangkok are now back home working on the farm with her. We need $500,000 to expand the production facility to support 20,000 farmers' family, transforming 100,000 lives just like Memma. But more importantly, not just her life, but the life of her children and grandchildren, because they are the future. Thank you very much.
Excellent job. All right, any questions?
So Neil, I know you have some buyers that are interested in buying here in the United States. What is your challenge in meeting why have you not been able to sign with them?
Okay. So we currently have a proposed contract from a big distributor here in the US that will supply to Walmart and Costco. And I have not signed the contract because we lack the financing to support that. Currently, the farmer's production facility is too small. And so we basically need this $500,000. 80% will go towards buying equipment and machinery to get that deal to go ahead. And the other 20% is to invest in the IT system and the management information system to support that.
So with your company, it seems like you certainly have really large aspirations. Do you think at all about launching other product lines? And if so, where does that fit within the timeline of the company?
Okay, so actually, we have two missions in the company. One is to transform farmers' life. The second mission is to create innovative, healthy, and delicious organic products for the global consumers. So we've created a range of products we call superfood because we consider jasmine rice as a superfood. So we now have a range of superfood products, including such as gluten-free superfood pasta, which is made from the rice. So right now, we're actually launching the gluten-free superfood pasta at the same time with the jasmine rice. And we will continue to add value in that along that value chain.
That was a brilliant way to answer that question in Los Angeles. You said gluten-free, and everyone was like, well, I'm in. I'm in. Any other questions?
If it was sugar-free, you'd really be doing something.
As you can tell, I'm gluten-free. I always ask for it on the side. Any other questions? Excellent job. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Terrific. Thank you so much to all of the finalists. Those pitches were beyond impressive. The judges will now head out to deliberate and decide which of the 5 finalists will receive funding and how the $750,000 will be distributed. I would now like to welcome the talented trumpeter, singer, songwriter, Spencer Ludwig, to the stage to perform as the judges continue their deliberation backstage. Please stay in the room and enjoy your drinks, and I'll see you back here in 15 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way back to your seats. The show will resume shortly.
say you'll be lonely at the top. That the world is the wrong way around. Dishonesty is overlooked. Greed is rewarded. Is that really what success is? I believe there is another way. One that starts with we, not me. Looking out for others. When you're on the rise together. Why not? Turn the world the right way up. It doesn't matter what people say. Everyone wins when you win the right way.
Good to see everybody again after yesterday when we were all here together. If you are smelling a pinch of coolness mixed with a spoonful of sexy and a dash of mystery, it's because Javier Bardem is actually in the room with us tonight. Javier Bardem is what it would look like if Old Spice made men. Also here with no fanfare and no video is Don Cheadle. That's for what you said to me backstage, Don. Now, we are going to have the announcement of the winner or winners, and after this, media should stay in the room for the press conference, and other guests can make their way out for food, drinks, and entertainment. You know what's really helpful? When you put a ladder in front of a teleprompter. So, they have finished their deliberation and decided who is getting a share of $750,000. Let's welcome our esteemed judges back to the stage. Hell yeah, Adam, Sonal, Alex, thank you guys so much. I will now hand over to Pernod Ricard CEO and Chairman Alex Ricard to announce the judges' final decision.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Josh, for this evening. Thank you. It has not been easy, you can imagine. I'm sure you all have been struggling and saying, oh my goodness, I wouldn't like to be in their shoes. And so I'd like to take the opportunity, first of all, to thank my fellow jury mates, Holly, Sonal, and Adam. Really, thank you very much. So it was not easy, but as in everything in life, we have to come up with a decision. Before we get into the real specifics, I just want to remind all of you that everybody has won in a way, because every single contender here has won in their respective markets, a highly competitive process. So everybody is winning. I think this is important. We were really struck by the passion, the intensity, the drive, the commitment, and the dreams that I'm convinced will come true for all of our participants. And I think this is absolutely important for that. So after deliberation, out of the 5 finalists, we came up with what we call 3 contenders, a clear number 2 and a clear number 1. All winners, and I'd like to ask them all to come here on stage. So, just to get into numbers and keep the suspense going, so the three contenders are going to get $50,000 each. The runner-up, or the second project, will get $200,000, and the winner will get $400,000. And clearly for the winner and the runner-up, the amounts were decided to be able to get them really to expend what they presented to us specifically. So I'm going to call out, first of all, the runner-up, the second position, which is, well, Chioma. Congratulations. Are you okay? And, well, the winner is Neil. Congratulations. Nice.
Congratulations. Incredible.
So I'd like us to raise a toast. Well done. Yes. I'm just going to get...
Kelly, I think they want you in the...
Sorry, thank you very much. So, as we say, success tastes better when shared. To the Chivas Venture, to all the winners, and to a better world. Cheers.
Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. And now, this was an incredible night. Congratulations to all of our contestants. Chivas would now like to invite you all to make your way to the after party area outside. There are so many heads in this. I'm just going to make things up because I can't see anything. There's going to be food and cocktails and entertainment. All media guests are invited to stay in the room for the press conference with our judges and finalists starting now. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for coming.